Welcome to another episode of the Miami Comedy Podcast. I'm Manny Garavito, and I just recently came back from Daytona. I can't help but realize that Miami really appreciates motorsports, but not in the same way Daytona does. So hopefully after this podcast, we can put how popular motorsports can be in our city, but we just gotta let the people know how we do it differently. So I went to Daytona recently, and I got a speeding ticket because they do something slick where when you get off the expressway, you're doing 70, there's no red light. Then it turns into a 55 mile per hour zone, then a 45 mile per hour zone. And then at the end, a group of cops are waiting for you to see if you haven't shifted from 70 to 45. And so they gave me a ticket because they said I was also maneuvering. And I showed them my ID. I told them where I was from. They said it doesn't matter where you're from. This is the law. And you're way over the speed limit. I'm taking this ticket to court because in my culture, that's called driving effectively. Now, of course, I couldn't help but think, aren't you guys like a racing culture in this city? Like, why are you out here giving tickets for people that are getting to their destinations efficiently? Why would you give us a ticket for doing exactly what your city is known for? In Miami, we don't really give speeding tickets on the Palmetto or Dolphin. We give speeding tickets when you drive fast in a very rich neighborhood. Because there's a rich guy there, like, why is that Altima going so fast? We need to get a cop to give these people tickets because I don't want Altimas in my neighborhood. But that's what made me realize that the Miami racing culture is way better than Daytona because we race every day. Why would you buy tickets to go see an annual event when we can be racing every single day in Miami for free? We don't even have to participate in the race. We could just follow two people racing and then just record it just in case they get in an accident, and then you can use it for content. And then if they ask for any sort of witnesses on the crash, you can be like, yeah, I got it, but it'll run you $1,000. You could sell it as evidence, right? Did anyone get any footage on this accident? Yeah, I got it, but you're gonna have to cash at me. I don't even think we get angry at each other anymore whenever we cut you off without a blinker. As a matter of fact, we might even applaud on how smooth you did it. Wow, this guy just cut me off, but it was so smooth I could barely even notice that he did that because I'm still going the same speed and so is he, but we're bumper to bumper. From what I can tell, we are all great at being terrible drivers. We're so bad at driving that we're good. We're good at being bad drivers. We cut people off, we don't let you in, we block. The smoothness of illegal traffic maneuvers that we do is quite impressive. You might as well accept the bad drivers in our city. Be one with them. You also do bad things in the streets. Don't act like you're innocent. Don't act like you use your blinker. Don't act like you haven't cut somebody off. So when somebody does some bullshit in the streets, just be like, oh, I've been there. We are one in these streets of Miami. We got to get to our destination no matter what. And this time it was your turn. So what is the main differences between the Daytona 500 and the Miami F1? The Daytona 500 is very classic, all-American traditional approach to racing. It's the kind of thing where you can go watch it in the bleachers or you can watch it at home or you can even tailgate. In Miami, it's mostly about just letting people know you're there. No one really cares about the racing. It's just saying I was able to afford it. And if you watch it from home or if you watch it from the bleachers or if you tailgate, you don't really want to show that off because people are going to think you're broke. You only show it off if you get the VIP. I actually looked up what kind of VIP experiences the Daytona 500 have in comparison to the Miami F1. The VIP in Daytona is really just a hotel stay added to the regular ticket. The VIP in the F1 is you get a skybox so you can talk to other people in the skybox while the race is happening in the background. And in the Daytona 500, in order for you to experience it and enjoy it, you just have a beer or you order a bucket of beer and you have a hot dog. In the Miami F1 VIP experience, you get a bucket of champagne and a $250 hot dog. That's the main difference. We really out here scamming ourselves and we're cool with it. Like we actually have the audacity to post a photo of the menu of what we're about to order. Hey, I'm about to get $280 chicken fingers. Look at me. That photo of the menu with the prices was more popular than the race drivers themselves. No one cared about the race. All they cared about was, can you believe people are paying $250 for chicken fingers? And that's the main difference between the Daytona 500 and the Miami F1. Our racing culture happens every single day. We don't have to wait for an annual thing. So when we do attend an annual event that is racing culture, we celebrate everything but the racing culture itself because we already lived it. What we're doing right now is we're just creating content to let you know that we're VIP. When you look at the content creators of the Daytona 500, they give you statistics, they give you the names of the drivers, they give you the history. When you look at the content creators of the Miami F1, they're like, look what I'm eating, look what I'm drinking, look who I'm taking a photo with. But Daytona 500 is all about muscle cars. The Miami F1 is all about the flex. That's probably what the F stands for. F1 means I'm flexing to be number one. It's a race to see who has the better flex during the Miami F1. So when it comes to the racing culture, the other exciting part to witness is seeing the car crashes. Now, when the Daytona 500 has a car crash, it's a highlight of the event. Even though everyone enjoys seeing those cars go round and round and the sound of the engine as well as the smell of the burning tires, that's all part of the experience. But whenever there's a car crash, that goes on the highlights. When it comes to the Miami F1, we see car crashes every day, whether it be on social media, on the local news. So car crashes aren't really that important to us when it comes to racing culture. And so instead, what racing culture in Miami should start implementing is we should start putting local race car enthusiasts in the F1 itself. I think it'd be more exciting to see the local car culture enthusiasts race their cars because these are just local people. They're not professional racers. So imagine seeing the Honda Civic and the Altima that you saw on the Dolphin Expressway a week ago going into an F1 and racing. What's more exciting to see? One of those F1 racers or seeing your boy in his BMW race a Porsche? Hey, I know that guy. I think what should end up happening is if you go over the speed limit on the expressways and you get a ticket, the police officers are the ones that should enroll you in the F1 event. They're like, all right, I'm going to give you a ticket for doing 100 in a 70. However, you also have to make an appearance at the F1 next year. All the people in this race have pending speeding tickets, and whoever wins get all their speeding tickets dropped. And go! Miami has such a big car culture, but we got to do everything illegally. Whether it's closing off streets and doing donuts to film content, whether it's racing on the expressway, whether it's cutting people off or going with the flow of traffic, everything we do when it comes to our motorsports culture is illegal, except maybe like a car show. But even then, a car show that's not registered or approved in a parking lot, the police officers still show up to raid it and say everybody needs to go home. So just promote the speedway events for the locals a lot more. You just pay a fee and you can start racing your car no matter what it is. Whether it could be a car that you got on Facebook Marketplace or eBay, or a car that you stole and you just want to check the engine out before you dump it into the canal. All right, everybody, that is it for today's episode of the podcast. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Miami's car culture in comparison to the Daytona. And support the podcast. Visit miamicomedy.com/podcast or just search Miami Comedy Podcast, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I'll see you on the next episode.